Video will be solving the exercise problems on the chapter Mechanical Properties of Solid. So let's start. Example 9.1 says a steel wire of length 4.7 meter and a cross-sectional area of 3.0 into 10 raised to 5 meters. So I'll write the given first. So there's a steel wire as well as a copper wire. So we'll use the notation with a subscript. So LS is 4.7 meter. The cross-sectional area, the cross-sectional area is given, which is 3.0 times 10 raised to 5 meter square. Stretches by the same amount. Okay, stretches by the same amount, that means the elongation is same. Okay, and next the copper wire length is given. So LC is 3.5 meter. And the cross-sectional area of copper wire is 4.0 into 10 raised to minus 5, so also minus 5 meter square under a given load. Okay, so through the question we know that the load is same, load applied is same on both the wires and stretches by same amount. So the stretching is also same. Okay, so what we have to find the ratio of Young's modulus of steel to that of copper. So Young's modulus of steel to that of copper. Okay, so first we'll write the Young's modulus of steel solution. So Young's modulus of steel, so Young's modulus was nothing but longitudinal stress by longitudinal strain, right? So stress can be written as force by area, and strain is delta L, that is changing length divided by the original length. So for it's for steel, so force on steel, area of steel, delta L of steel and length of steel. Okay, so this is force into length of steel upon area of steel into elongation of the steel wire, right? Next is for copper wire. Same formula will be applied with the quantities for the copper. So force on copper upon area, cross-sectional area of the copper wire, delta L of copper divided by L of length of the copper. Okay, rearranging we get F of copper, force on copper, length of copper, area and delta LC. Okay, now from the given condition we know the load is same and the stretch is applied is the same. So because the load is same, the force on the copper and the force on the steel will be same. That is some F I have written, mentioned F. Okay, and next what is same? The stretching is the same. So stretching means the elongation is the same. Okay, so delta L copper is same as delta L of steel. That is elongation of the copper wire and the steel wire is the same, which can be denoted by delta L. Okay, now we will directly find the substitute in the ratio. So we have to find the Young's modulus of steel divided by Young's modulus of copper. So this is the formula we'll use. Okay, so for Young's modulus of K, so now while writing I will write Fs and Fc as F and delta Ls and delta Lc as delta L. Okay, so the numerator will be F Ls divided by area of steel, delta L of steel, whole divided by, so I don't want to write delta Ls, I'll write just delta L because it's the same quantity, right? So Fc will be again F Lc upon area of copper into delta L, right? So rearranging what I'll get, so let's cancel off the forces, the same quantities, the forces and the delta L. So force will cancel off, delta L will cancel off. What remains is delta L of steel upon area of steel divided by length of copper upon area of copper, right? So rearranging again, what we'll get? Ls into area of copper, Lc times area of steel, right? So Young's modulus of steel upon Young's modulus of copper is nothing but this values quantity, right? So let's substitute according to the given value. So length of steel is 4.7 meter. Area of copper is 4.0 into 10 raised to minus 5 meter square. Length of copper is 3.5 meter and area of steel is 3 into 10 raised to minus 5. Okay, so 3.0 into 10 raised to minus 5 meter square. Okay, so it will be obviously a unitless quantity. So Young's modulus of steel divided by Young's modulus of copper, on calculation we will get it as 1.8. So because it is the ratio of same quantities, there won't be any. So let's go with the next problems exercise, that is exercise 9.2. So there is a plot given of stress and strain. So let's read the question. Figure 9.11 shows the strain stress curve for a given material. What we have to find is first A, the Young's modulus, and B, the approximate yield strength of this material. Okay, so we have given a graph and we have to calculate these values. Okay, so let's understand the first part, A, Young's modulus. So what was Young's modulus? It was nothing but ratio of stress by strain, right? So it was longitudinal stress divided by longitudinal strain. Okay, and we have been given the plot of the stress and strain, right? So for knowing the ratio from the graph, it is easier for us to calculate the slope of the graph. Okay, so Young's modulus is nothing but, with the help of the graph, just the slope of the graph. Okay, so for calculating the slope, we need two coordinates, 2 points that where we know the coordinates pretty well. So I'll choose x1, y1 first to be 0, 0. Then the next point can be chosen where you know the coordinates pretty well, like accurately. You need not approximate it. Okay, so for that I'll choose as 0.002, 150. So remember one thing, that the Young's modulus is the slope, but slope in which part? It is in the linear part of the graph. Okay, why? Because this rule was given by the Hooke's law, right? So Hooke's law was only valid for the linear part of the graph. Okay, so the Young's modulus is given by the slope, where the slope is linear part. Okay, so you can't take the curved point there. Okay, if you are taking the curved point, it won't be like the real value of the Young's modulus. Okay, so you have to keep it in mind that Young's modulus is the slope where in the linear part of the plot, right? So I have chosen the points. Now let's calculate the slope. So slope is given by y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, right? So y2 is 150. So just remember that 150, it is 150 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. Okay, so let's write y2 is 150 into 10 raised to 6 minus y1 is 0, x2 is 0.002 minus 0. Okay, so the Young's modulus, which is the slope, which will be given by simply writing 150 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 0.002. Okay, so after calculation we get Young's modulus as 7.5 times 10 raised to 10 Newton per meter square. Okay, that was pretty easy. It was an easy sum because we have to calculate the Young's modulus through the slope. Okay, that was the first part of the problem. So next part of the question is to calculate the yield strength. So what is yield strength? Yield strength is the stress at which the materials begin to deform plastically. So what do I mean by that? So as you can see in the plot, there is a region where it is linear, okay, where stress is directly proportional to strain. So that is the region of elasticity, and after that it starts bending more towards the stress. Okay, so at that point you can say the region is said to be plastic. Okay, so the linear part is straight line, so which is elastic, but when the body gets permanently deformed. Okay, it gets permanently deformed. Okay, so that means the graph is getting level off. Okay, so you can see it doesn't show a linear pattern at that point. Okay, and that stress at that point of leveling off is called yield strength. Okay, so the stress at this point is called as the yield strength. Got it? So through the plot we can understand that the region is plastic after 0.04 value of the strain. Okay, so after that, whatever strain we apply, the stress is whatever stress we apply, the strain is behaving differently. Okay, so that stress is called the yield strength. So yield strength Ys will be equal to, what is the value of stress at that point? It is 300 times 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. So from the plot directly you can calculate, because where the stress is getting deformed plastically. Okay, the stress at which the material begin to deform plastically. Okay, so it begins at the point where stress is 300 times 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. So let's solve example exercise 9.3. So again the stress strain plot is given, and what we have asked to find is, using the graph we have to calculate which of the material has first greater Young's modulus, like from A and B, which has greater Young's modulus, and B is which is a stronger material. Okay, so greater Young's modulus, so let's calculate the part A. So Young's modulus, as we know, it's nothing but stress, longitudinal stress by strain. Okay, so as I said, if it is a graph or a plot given as stress and strain, it's better to calculate it using the slope. But here the problem is we don't know the actual the coordinates and the scale of the plot. Okay, so slope can also be written as tan theta. Okay, so in this problem it's easier to calculate, approximate the theta and compare it. Okay, so we will be moving with the tan theta method. So y equal to Young's modulus can be calculated by the tan theta. Okay, that is the slope of the graph. Okay, so now we have given the A and B. As you can see, you can compare it, and you can see that theta is the angle along the horizontal axis. Okay, no, make a note of it. And theta of A will be greater than theta of B. Why? Because it is more vertical, okay, compared to B, and hence theta of A is greater than theta of B. Okay, so as it is more steeper, the slope will be more. Okay, so that's why theta of A is greater than theta of B, and hence Young's modulus of material A will be Young's modulus of material B. Okay, so we got the answer, which is a greater Young's modulus. Young's modulus of material A is greater compared to that of B. Okay, you understood the part A of the problem. Now let's move on to part B. So part B says which is a stronger material. Okay, so now the strength depends. So strength of the material is analyzed by the fracture point. Okay, so knowing the fracture point of the material, you can analyze how much is the strength of the material. So from the plot A and B, you can see the fracture point is nothing but where the material breaks. Okay, that is the fracture point. Okay, so after the wire breaks, so the material that handles more strain, okay, is more strong. Okay, so as the material handles more strain, so the material will be more strong. Okay, that's a common relation, we can understand commonly. So if I'm stretching a material, okay, and it's on application of a force, it's existing more time. Okay, so that will be the strength of that material will be more, right? So from the figure A and B, like plot A and B, we can see that the strain applied or the end point of the plot A is more. Okay, so just focus on the x-axis of the plot, okay, and just extrapolate. So as you can see, the point A, the x-axis point or the x-axis distance is more, and hence strain, okay, handled by the material A is more than strain handled by the material B, and hence strain is directly proportional to strength. So strength of material A will be greater than strength of the material B. Okay, so you have to just focus on how much strain a material can handle before it breaks down, before the fracture point. Okay, so I think that was easy and you understood it. Solve the next problem, that is 9.4. Okay, so let's read the problem. So read the following two statements below and carefully state with reasons if it is true or false. Okay, so the statement A says Young's modulus of rubber is greater than Young's modulus of steel. Okay, so we have to evaluate this sentence and check whether it is true or false, right? So let's see. Young's modulus, what was Young's modulus? It was a longitudinal stress divided by longitudinal strain, right? Okay, so what we now do to analyze this is we'll keep the stress constant. Like for rubber as well as steel, the stress will be same. Okay, so stress, if I am applying same, so Young's modulus is inversely proportional to strain. Okay, so strain is material, like how the stress applied is same, so the Young's modulus will just depend on the strain, like depending on the material, like the strain will be different and hence the Young's modulus will differ. Okay, now what was strain? The formula to calculate strain was change in length divided by the original length, right? So imagining the original length is considered to be same, like it is same for rubber and steel. Okay, so what changes here is delta L or the elongation. Okay, so as strain is directly proportional to delta L, okay, so Young's modulus is inversely proportional to delta L. Got my point? So first what I did is I just kept this stress applied on the rubber and this steel to be same. Okay, so the Young's modulus now just dependent on the strain. Okay, and the strain formula is changing dimension to original dimension, and because the dimension or the length of the rubber and steel is same, like initial point, the strain will be depending on the elongation of the rubber or the steel. So Young's modulus is inversely proportional to the elongation. Okay, so an application of same force, you know, the elongation of rubber, elongation applied on the rubber will be greater than elongation applied on the steel. Okay, that's like common sense. If I am applying same force for both rubber and steel, okay, you know that elongation or the change in length, the length of the rubber will extend more compared to that of steel. Okay, so because length of rubber is greater than length of steel and elongation is inversely proportional to Young's modulus, so Young's modulus of rubber will be less than Young's modulus of steel. Understood? Okay, so the given statement that Young's modulus of rubber is greater than Young's modulus of steel is false. Okay, and the right answer is Young's modulus of steel is greater than Young's modulus of rubber. Okay, so let's solve part B of the question. What part B of the question says is the stretching of a coil is determined by its shear modulus. So what do you mean by stretching of a coil? So if I am taking a coil like this, okay, and I am pulling it, applying a force like this, so it will get stretched. Okay, and hence there will be a change in shape. Okay, so change in shape, as we remember, change in shape is related to the shear modulus, right? So it is related to shear modulus. So what the problem says is the stretching of the coil is determined by the shear modulus. Yeah, it is true, right? Because there is change in shape associated with it, so it will be determined by the shear modulus. Okay, so that was easy. So the answer is true. Okay, so the Young's modulus of stretching of the coil is determined by the shear modulus. Okay.